So I put this stuffed mushroom in a baking dish. It's stuffed with cheese pretty much. And you put them in a baking dish, and my oven is preheating to 400 degrees. And I'm going to put it in the oven now. So while my mushrooms and cheese are baking in the oven, they have to be in there for at least 14-15 minutes. I am just whipping up my eggs here, getting them ready and getting everything else ready to try to coordinate the time for when the mushrooms are ready. So I'm done whipping the eggs, and I'm going to get some chopped celery and onions. I'm not going to put any cheese in my eggs because there's already cheese in the mushrooms and I don't need that much cheese. So as you can see, here's my chopped celery and onions, and I'm going to put them in the eggs and just beat them a little bit more so it can mix through as my mushrooms are still baking in the oven. So at this point you can season your eggs. I just added a dash of salt and pepper, and I'm going to mix that through as well. So as you know, I just love tomatoes. I can eat tomatoes with anything and everything. So before this tomato gets bad, I'm just going to slice up the whole thing. And this is for, 2 people. So maybe each of us will get 3 or 4 slices of tomato each. This may seem like a lot to you, but when you eat low carb, at least for me, I tend to eat more. It's like without that carb filler, you don't feel as satisfied. So there's no bread, there's no biscuits, so I will double up on the vegetable like a tomato. And there's some other little tips and tricks that I do, but I will save that for another video. So I'm done cutting up this tomato, and I'm going to start on the egg. So I have some butter in a stainless steel pan. I love using stainless steel to make scrambled eggs. I just think they come out fluffier, and it doesn't stick to the pot as much, and it's easy to clean this pot or pan. So waiting for the butter to melt. My eggs are already whipped and ready to go. And I just want to wait a little bit longer. I kind of move the butter around the entire pan because the egg is going to spread out throughout the entire pan. And it doesn't have to melt completely, but a little more than this. And I also like using a spatula that has a rubber tip instead of a metal one. I think it also helps, number one, from scratching the pan, but it allows you to maneuver around the circumference of the pan nicer than a regular traditional spatula. So you will see it here in a second. So now that my butter is almost done, I'm just checking on some things, checking on the mushrooms, just wiping my stove a little bit, trying to find something to do as it melts. And I think we are ready. You don't want the butter to get brown, so you want to put those eggs in before that happens. And you want that heat on high. And I just let it sit there and let it cook through before moving the eggs until I see the edges of the egg kind of swell up like it's cooked on the edges. And here is that spatula I was telling you about. It will come into view very soon. Let me just get one thing here. I have my 2 plates, getting that ready as it cooks. Because I have to have hot eggs. I cannot eat cold eggs, so everything is pretty much, centered around these eggs. The mushrooms should be done by the time I'm done with these eggs. The tomatoes already cut up. Everything I need is pretty much ready. And you move the eggs from the outer edge toward the center to make them nice and fluffy. And I just go from the edge toward the center, from the edge toward the center, and just keep cleaning off the edges and moving it toward the center. Now, depending on how you like your eggs cooked, you leave it in longer if you like them hard and dry. I like mine a little soft, so a little bit of that fell out on the side. Oopsie. So I'm back with the tomatoes now that the eggs are done, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of soy sauce over them. Some people put salt and pepper. The soy sauce pretty much has salt in it, and it gives it a different flavor when you're in the mood for a different taste. And I just saturate them. I let them sit in it for just a few seconds, get my eggs together, and then I will put them on the plates. So I'm taking a spatula to lift them up so it doesn't get too messy. It's not the easiest task here. And I'm going to put half of this in my plate, half for my husband. I'm just cleaning off the area where the soy sauce spilled. Going to put my plates down, and you have your egg. The mushroom is out of the oven, and tomato that has some soy sauce on it. And voila, here is your low-carb breakfast. It's filling, it's delicious, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let me know if you try this. Bye, guys.